Hey friends, and welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. It's finally spooky season. It's October, my favorite month of the year. I'm partial because I was born in October. So time to break out all those nice fall mugs. So this week in the studio we are making the Kaitlin bag, one of my favorites. And I decided to switch from another bag to this one because it is time for me to transfer all my stuff into my fall bag. So we'll do that together. If you're new here, hi, my name is Heather and I make handmade bags and crochet and lots of other crafty things. So that's what we do here. And if you're not new, welcome back. Thanks for stopping by again and spending time with me. And let's take a look at our bag. So this is the Kaitlin purse by Can Do Crafts. It's super cute. I don't do the pocket in the front because each of these are pockets. So on all four sides there's a pocket. Okay, I have a note to myself that I do this at 85% scale, which makes it 9 by 8.5. So it's a nice in-between size purse. I think I've made like 3 or 4 of these now. Let's take a look at them. It's my favorite bag to make. I can't believe I have so many of these. So this is the first one I made, and I did put the pocket like the pattern says, but I just don't think it needs the pocket. There's a pocket on the inside. It's a magnetic snap closure. And then you've got 4 pockets all along the outside. So I didn't feel like I needed more pockets. One thing I really liked here is if you make the lining piece of the pocket a little taller, then you can wrap it over and you have a little ledge showing. And I did not do that on this one, I just did a straight pocket on that one. I love this fabric. I requisitioned this one for myself. And at the last show, this one had been in my box for a long time and nobody had bought it. So once again, I requisitioned it for myself. I did the same thing here with the little lip of the lining fabric in there. I just love this dark blue. So this is kind of my summery purse. And then this one is my fall purse that we made together last year out of the fat quarters. So I had some fall themed fat quarters that I used for this. Really pretty. I just love this fabric. It's beautiful. So I had just enough, I think, yeah, I had just enough to the point where I had to use the selvage edge for the bottom, but since it was my bag, I was perfectly fine with that. So I love having a fall theme bag, and I know there's a lot of people that don't like purses that don't zip up to keep all your stuff in. These like stand up of their own accord. So I feel like as long as I have a purse that isn't flopping over and dumping my stuff all over the place, that I'm fine, but I understand there's different strokes for different folks, and some people need a zipper closure and some people are okay with a magnetic snap. So yeah, I went through and I've already got a lot of bags with zippers in stock for the show. So I'm going to do some of these that are just smaller with the snap in my fall project bag. We are almost done with this shawl. I'm very surprised. I've just been going gangbusters with this and I don't know why. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm just crocheting like a mad woman. So this is the garden scarf. What is it? Winter garden? Let me make sure. This is the winter garden scarf from Fiber Flux. She's got a whole video tutorial and free instructions on her blog. So it's pretty much, it's long, it's like crisscrossing at this point. I'm on the last skein. I've only got this left. I don't know whether to keep going at this point. I'll probably just keep going until I feel like it's the right length and then use the leftovers of this for that shawl of many colors that I'm making, because this is DK weight. So this will be a good color to mix in there because I don't have a lot of greens in there. Yeah, so I'm almost done with this one, which means I can wear it on vacation. And then the next one is coming along also. I put it back in this bag. So we've got, what's this one called? I can never remember what they're called. This one is the Morning Glory scarf. It's more of a shawl. It's 17 inches wide, so it's wider than the one I just showed you. So right now it's kind of a square. It looks like a huge washcloth, but it's a really pretty pattern. Oh, I'm doing it sideways. So this is the pattern. It's kind of like a block stitch pattern with a kind of like a granny stripe pattern, but it's very pretty. I'm already on the second skein, so not sure if this is just one skein. I might have to break in and use all six of the skeins from that pack that I bought. Okay, so lots of exciting stuff going on this week. I hope you join me. So if that sounds fun to you, go ahead and grab yourself a water or a cozy beverage and let's get to work. I just realized I was so excited I never went over the fabrics. So we have this beautiful poppy fabric with this orange. I couldn't find the orange zipper that I wanted, so we went with just this plain beige one. But I got these new zipper pulls, which are so cute. They're like little hearts inside a circle. It's going to be on the inside, so you're not really going to see it. But that's the first one. And then I've got this beautiful bird fabric. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that. It's just this beautiful blush pink. And then I've got this kind of confetti. What is it? Spray. It's called Spray Fuchsia. So those two together with a nice light pink zipper with those new heart pulls that's got the double heart. So excited about that. So that's what we're going to be putting together. I think I'll start with this one just because I love me some birds. So I'm going to do that, and then I have to track down the pattern pieces because for some reason I did not pull that out when I pulled out the pattern. And we're back. So I basically just killed my lower back ironing this. So we have our new ironing board in. I'm going to try doing that sitting on the ottoman. It does have an adjustable height. I just don't know because I spray the spray stuff. I don't want that getting all over my carpet, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do about that. But meanwhile, we have our fabric. And I don't know how much of this to show you because you've seen it all before, right? I guess the only thing I can say in this case is this is directional. So, is that supposed to be there? Yeah. So I'm just going to cut out the usual. I think I'm going to do the strap out of the lining fabric. So I'm just going to cut a little extra as per usual there. And then this is all going to be out of the lining. So I should really cut all the pieces I need out first before we cut anything else out. And this has to be out of this also. Okay. So I don't know how much lining fabric I'm going to have if I do all of this on the fold. Well, that's annoying. Okay, we will start with these two pieces. Okay, and yeah, that's about it. Just trying to get stuff done at work so that when I'm gone, it's not a complete mess. Yes, I've also had fun experimenting with Vlogmas intros. So getting excited about Vlogmas. We're going to do a different tea advent this year because World Market still has the same tea advent for the third year. So I'm going to get a different one of those. We have our advent yarn coming from England at some point. Probably in October, I would think. So excited about that. And I just finished editing the spooky video for you, so that will be up the week after this. So you'll have something to watch while I'm gone. And then I have a note here, like we talked about. I'm going to add 1/4 of an inch to the top of this for the lining fabric so that we have that little rollover piece. Okay, so the plan here is that I've got my ottoman. So we've got the doggies and the ottoman, and I'm going to set the ironing board up in front of here. I use the spray stuff, so I also have to put something over the rug to protect the rug. So let's try this out and see if it works. So here's my pretty new ironing board. It's got a double way, so I can put the iron on the left, which I really appreciate. So I think I'm going to have to start with the fabric over here so it doesn't get wrinkled and kind of iron away from me so that it cascades off the edge of the ironing board. I think that's going to work. The ironing board is actually not that much wider, wider than the one I have now, which is weird because I thought the one I had now is so small. But I can get the whole yard, which is nice because before I had to keep moving it over. So if I can iron the whole yard piece at once, it's going to be way faster for me. Okay, well this setup's kind of working out, except I have to lay a big giant sheet on the floor to not get any of the starch spray on the rug, and we've got to barricade the Lucy out of this area so I don't spray the Lucy with damaging chemicals. But I think I've got this dialed in now. I've got it on the silk setting and these marks are going away, so that's good. All set, and I get to watch TV. I'm watching Danny live right now, if you ever watch him. So it's just about lunchtime on Saturday. We got the fish tank filled up and just waiting for some beneficial bacteria to come in the mail. And then we will start rebuilding the tank life. On to our last piece of fabric, and I wanted to share with you the next book we're reading. I didn't get through Trust of the Emerald Sea, just not my cup of tea. So now we are on to, what's that? The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. It's about a librarian of spell books who has to flee the city with as many books as she can because the city is being torched. So that's what we are listening to now. I just started it. I'm just on the first or second chapter. Very good so far. I will keep you posted. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is get rid of our tape and put a new piece on. Our seam allowance for this bag is 3/8. I'm going to do that. My light seems really not bright. So I've got this LED strip. There we go. That, changes. There we go, that's better. I got that off of Amazon. I really like it. It goes around the throat. You can't see it. It goes around the throat of the machine. It's just taped on there. It's got double stick tape. And it's really cool. Adds a lot of light, which is great. Another lovely benefit of menopause is I can't see very well in dark situations any longer. So it's 3/8, which is a mark on my base, but I just like having it on there. It's just a no-brainer to follow the line of the tape. So what we are gonna do, since our pockets are a little strange, so you'll see here that if I was just to line it up, we have that extra bit of fabric up at the top. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew the bottom like that, but then we're going to bring these two edges up to meet each other. So we're going to have like a little bit of we're going to make a tube, but it's going to be got a little hump in it, shall we say. And I want to backstitch at the front and the the beginning and the end. And then we're going to pull these two edges up to meet each other, and we're going to try not to wiggle it around. You can definitely use the clips for this. In fact, I should probably be using clips for this. I'm going to sew it the same direction as the last one. Oh, so you see how we just have this little bit of a loop going on. And I'm going to double check it, make sure it's up there. And I'm going to make sure that the edges are still even, because that's kind of the part that can go awry at this point. And then we're going to sew it down. And I'm just going to keep checking it as I'm sewing it to make sure that it hasn't wandered off kilter. We just have this slight bend in our fabric, like a smiley face. Give me cookies. So that's what we want. And then when we go to iron it, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so the goal is the roll. What we're trying to do is get that roll at the top. So we are going to turn this inside out. Going to get worse before it gets better. You can cut those seam allowances down, but I find that there's really no point. They're going to sew nicely under because we're going to be top stitching, so don't have to worry about it. We're going to get out our handy dandy chopstick. Only difference here is that we are going to only do the bottom. So we're going to roll the seam if you're good at that, or use your chopstick to kind of push that seam out. The birdies are on the front. So I'm going to get that seam really nice. I don't want any of the lining fabric to show. This is on the outside of the bag. It's not in the lining. So you just want to be extra careful with that. Just really get those seams rolled out. I can still feel. Okay. And then we're going to press that down. And then fun, what we're going to do is we're just going to push this towards the top. We can also do this at this point. We can take our chopstick and kind of push that fabric towards the top just to give us a line. And then we are going to push from the bottom to the top just to get that little bit at the top there. And then we're just going to be top stitching the top because we're going to attach it using the bottom, so we don't have to sew that down. So we're just going to top stitch the top, and you can see how pretty that turned out. Just a little teeny roll at the top. If you want more of a roll, you can do more than 1/4 of an inch. Obviously, because we're sewing at 3/8 of an inch, you're not really getting 1/4 of an inch up there. So you could totally do more than that if you wanted to. Another thing she does, which I don't see very often, is she likes to add 2 lines of top stitching. So what she'll do is she'll just do a line right there, and then she'll do a line at like 1/4 of an inch. So we're just going to do a line right at the top here where the exterior fabric is showing. And you can push that out again if you feel like it's not very even. And I don't know if you can see it there, but I'm lining it up with that inner line on my foot. So my foot has like a ridge in the middle, a hole in the middle. So my foot has a hole in the middle here. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that this exterior fabric is lined up with the edge of this part of the foot. So that gives me a clean line all the way down. So you've got 2 lines of stitching, which just adds a little bit of class. This is a classy bag, let me tell you. Okay, here's a tip if you want to be extra professional. If you've got directional fabric in a pocket, you want to think about what you're actually going to see when you open it up. I'm obviously not quite there yet. So I have the right way up here on the side you're not going to see. So the side you are going to see is upside down. So when you're placing your pocket piece, you should place this upside down. So the upside down part is facing the top. That way, when you look inside your pocket, the fabric is the right direction. I'm really not quite there yet. I would like to point out that if we hadn't shrunk this, we wouldn't have had enough of that lining fabric to do all the pieces we did with the yard of fabric. So that's another consideration. We probably would have had to have 3 fabrics going on here if we wanted to get all of the pieces out in a yard. So I'm going to press it so that it's the right way, and then we're actually going to turn it the other way around so that the lining is out, so that when we top stitch it on the machine, the prettiest side of the top stitching is going to be on the exterior. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Okay, so basically I need to turn this whole thing around now so that the lining is on the outside. It's going to be harder to make sure that our line of stitching, we're tucking under the edges. Okay, so now our exterior is on the inside. So now we're going to do the top stitching so that the top of the top stitching is on the exterior. Here we have our finished bag. A slight communication error. This pocket is up way higher than the other ones. Look at all this room down here. I think I was supposed to do it 2 inches from the actual edge, not 2 inches from the notches. So I think that's where I messed up there. Let's go back. Yeah, I was supposed to go 2 inches up from the actual edge and not the notches, so this one might turn out to be mine. I might have subconsciously done that because I really wanted I really love this fabric. We shall see. Yeah, that is quite annoying. You wanted that pocket to be almost all the way to the bottom here. But we have a second chance with the next bag. Okay, so I'm going to get started on the next bag before lunch here. I'm hoping to finish these and move on to the teddy bears because I don't have a lot of time left. I thought I was going to have a lot more time, but I'm thinking about it, and we've got the guild meeting on Thursday night, which means we're leaving super early on Friday, which means I need to pack on Wednesday, and I need to get this video edited and uploaded before we leave, so it's like this whole thing. Once again, it is time to dye my hair. I don't know if it's because there was the pink in it or it was really light colored when I started, but that other dye I put in just did not stay. Now it just looks brown. So that was Feria, which I don't use very often. I really like L'Oreal Preference. So this is what we're gonna do this time. It is intense dark red. I'm hoping to get a base of a darker color, and then next time I'll do a little bit of a brassier red. I tend to like brassy red, but I want to get rid of this kind of light color because it just washes out way too fast. So I'm kind of here. It's gonna be like a nice deep magenta-y red, and obviously I would like to have red hair. when we go, I'm hoping to be in the fall leaves and all the fall colors, and I would like my hair to be red. So I'm going to do that tonight since my husband is at a gig because he hates the smell of hair color. So I'm going to do that tonight, and you'll see it in the outro. So hopefully it will be a lot more dramatic. Okay, so here we have the second one. So you can see what I did there. I made a note in the pattern that it's 2 inches up from the actual bottom. I think what I did here is, I really love this fabric. I think I just made myself a bag, which means I'll have to make another Kaitlin bag at some point. Okay, we're back with another pair of shoes. So 3rd time's a charm. If these don't fit, I think I'm just giving up. Just gonna put our wool socks on. Now this time I went a little crazy. I got these kind, and I decided it was either black or like an actual color. So I went with this color. You gotta pick the right shoe. I went with the 10 wide. So let's see. I like this little tab. You kind of need the tab to get this over your heel. Well, it fits, so that's good. It's a little roomy. And the second one. I don't think they're bad. I think the problem with these is that they're never going to be like shoes I can wear. I mean, if I'm out on a trail, like when we go to the waterfalls, this will be good. And if I'm walking around town and it's wet, these will be good. But as far as using them at work, I pretty much have to wear these into the building and have a pair of shoes to change into, like Mr. Rogers. So that's doable. I think it's cute to have them colorful, especially if it's raining and it's all gray outside. So I'm gonna walk around the house and make sure these aren't too slippy because there's kind of a lot of room in them now. But I think these will work. Yay, 3rd time's a charm. So that's it for this week. We've got some super dark hair now. It'll lighten up over the next few weeks, and then the next one I do will be more red, but I needed to get a darker base color to cover up all the pink, so that's that. We finished the shawl, yay! Very cool, very cozy. So I will be all wrapped up in this on our trip, which is nice. And I've started another project, which I will share with you next time. And then a 3rd project, because I'm not sure about the other project that I was going to take on the plane. So I started a 3rd project with that leftover, if you remember, the original Segway shawl colors, the really light lavenders. So I've started a shawl with those that I'll be working on. It's just going to be smaller and easier to take with me on the plane. So I'm going to do that. Let's take a look at our finished bags. So we've got our birdies. We've got our birdies, which I put the pocket up too high. I think it was a psychological choice on my part because I really love this one. And these are my favorite bags to use, so I think I just got myself another bag. So this will be the only Kaitlin bag at the craft fair. The one with the poppies, which is definitely more springy. So if it doesn't sell at this craft fair, we'll take it with us to the yarn crawl, which I still don't have the dates for. So I can't really plan out next year too far ahead without knowing when the yarn crawl is going to be, because that will determine whether I'm doing the spring Torrance craft fair, depending on the dates of the yarn crawl. And it'll determine how fast I got to start cranking out project bags at the beginning of the year. So we'll see. So next week you will have a spooky video, which should be fun. And then the week after that, we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to organize all of our fabric remnants to plan out some coin purses and maybe some more pyramid bags. We've got the coin purses and the sachets still left to make for this show. So we'll do that in the coming weeks. And then it's craft fair prep, so we're gonna put all the price tags on, get everything ready to go, make sure I have all the supplies I need, and yeah, then after that we can take a breather. By breather I mean hosting Thanksgiving. It's not really a breather, but after Thanksgiving and decorating for Christmas, we will definitely take a breather. We're definitely going to have a Christmas sale in the shop, so anything that I have left after this November craft fair, I will be taking pictures, putting them in the shop, and there will be a holiday discount for you that I will announce probably the first week of December, maybe earlier than that depending on when I get everything in the shop. So I'll do a shop announcement with a discount code, and yeah, so you can get some goodies for your friends for Christmas, or I've also got stitch markers in there if you want to just get a bunch of stitch markers for your friends for Christmas. I think we're done making the bulk of the bags for the fair. I've got pretty much all the Tupperware bins filled up. So we're just going to make the little price point, the smaller price point items, so that I have a chunk of those. Oh, and I have to go through my old Christmas fabric and see if we can make some Christmas sachets, maybe some piggies, I don't know. I also got some of the teddy bears done, so I can turn those in at the meeting this week and get some more service hours. And I think that's it, just getting ready to start packing and planning. I found a few yarn stores up there, so we need to take a tour of some yarn stores and maybe buy ourselves some souvenir yarn and yarn presents. And then I also found a quilt shop in Leavenworth, so that would be fun to go take a look around there, see if we can find any fabric that's unusual that I don't have, because otherwise I'm not buying any more fabric. Okay, well that's it. Thank you for joining me this week for another chatty video. Hopefully you like the chatty, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. See you next time. Love you, friends. Bye.